Hi, I'm Grace.
And I'm Ek, and this is Off the Duff.
Today, we're talking about introspection, navel-gazing, remuneration. Do we? Should we? It seems like in our modern culture, we're encouraged to constantly go, 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 and everything is about which caffeinated beverage will help get us through the day, which energy drink we need in order to do all the things that we need to do, and what's going to keep us off our duffs all the time. But at some point, it might be worth asking, when do we make time and space to process all of this going and doing? Do you think that there is value to introspection?
I do, definitely. As you know, I'm a big overthinker ahead of time. I overthink everything. And I think
Aquarius!
where I think that serves me well is not in many places, but in looking back afterwards at something and, just looking back on it and processing how that comes together. I definitely think that that's valuable. I mean, otherwise I don't feel like you can grow. How else are you supposed to grow if you're not looking back at what you've done? We talked in an earlier video about making sure you've eaten your vegetables and tracking your progress. And it's like, you might go, yeah, I got that. And you realize, no, I never really actually dealt with that. And so that introspection, I think, gives you that chance to do that. And so thinking about it, processing it afterwards definitely is valuable. So what about you? You think there's a good value in that?
I'm a giant introspector.
Is that a word?
Well, if it wasn't a word, it is now.
It is now.
It's like prospector. I'm an introspector.
Yes.
I've been keeping a journal in my adult life consistently since about 2004, nearly daily. And it's been one of the most valuable things I have ever cultivated and maintained in my life. I think that my journal is what has enabled me to identify negative patterns. I'm the perpetrator of them.
Right.
I think that it helped me realize my own role in relationships that failed or friendships that didn't go quite right. When I find myself saying the same things about my career again and again and again, it just underscores to me that nothing has really changed, that I just keep on putting up with it.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think that journaling for me has been an incredibly valuable tool in the old, know thyself kind of thing. And it's helped me make really positive changes. It's helped me move myself from being very pessimistic to optimistic, or at least these days, I don't know, what's a... Omnimistic? I'm making up words left
I
and
like
right.
it. All these will be in the show notes down below, so you can add them
there we
to
go.
Merriam-Webster later on.
An Urban Dictionary.
Urban Dictionary,
right?
whatever.
But at any rate, I definitely feel that there is great value in introspection of some sort, whatever that may be. So I know you're not a journaler, and yet you're someone who has a lot of really interesting experiences and whatnot. What do you do in order to process all that you do and all that you see?
Well, like you said, I'm not a big journaler. I can't even say the word, let alone invent one. I don't, I find that maybe it's because I write for a living. Part of what I do is write. And I feel like I'm trying to create a narrative and a story, and it has to fit together. And I can't do that whole just put it down on paper. I feel like, who's my audience? I'm my audience, right? Obviously, but I just can't write that way. I've tried apps. I have a journal app. It tells me every Tuesday, time to write in your journal. And I say, thank you. And I don't. I've probably written in it 10 times in the 2 years.
Thank you, kindly fuck off.
Exactly. I need that button on my phone. But yeah, I just don't. I look at it and go, okay, thanks, journal. I don't need you. I've tried it on paper. That just isn't happening. So I've tried, and I just feel like for me, I feel like I very quickly, when something happens, whether it's a big thing, end of a relationship, or just something, a new friend, or just processing something that happened during the day, I feel like I in quick order, go through, I experience it, I process it, and I reflect on it pretty quickly, you know? I mean, I think it's I don't know if I want to call it talent or a superpower, but it's definitely a skill that I have honed in the last, probably also in the last 12 to 15 years, is just more of a don't dwell on it sort of thing. But I do have a daily thing that I do. It's called the Daily Examine, and there's a lot of different variations of it, I guess. And I took one that is not spiritually related, but it's just more of a thing that you do at the end of the day. So you basically review your day with gratitude, acknowledge your emotions, and then look towards tomorrow as what you can do better, how you can handle yourself better. So you kind of look at, the original is, how did I sin today? But for me, it's like, how was I not my best today? What did I do that I could have done better for myself, my friends, my family? And then how do I propose to do that better tomorrow? And I sometimes hold my notebook where I wrote down my to-dos, so I kind of can go through my day and see what I did. Maybe I didn't, I spent too much time looking at videos on YouTube that did not have to do with anything important to work. And it's okay for a while, but maybe I spent too much time. So I might reflect that I've been taking too much time doing that. So it's just a way to review my day, think about how it made me feel, put those bad emotions, deal with those, and make sure that tomorrow my intention is to live with gratitude and just basically set your mind in motion for tomorrow. How's about you?
So I use an online journal because I can type 90 words a minute, and using a pen makes my hand go kind of like this, and then I'm unhappy afterwards. I've also used, and I don't know why, for some reason, the online journal format just works for me. I think that it had a social media sort of aspect to it originally. That's not true anymore. I'm pretty much just talking to myself, and I write that way. Although, and yeah, that's true. Well, and that and the fact that I assume that the only people who will really care about my journal after I'm dead are my children, and so every now and then there are notes to them, or caveats like, "Hey kids, you might want to not read this next one," or something like that.
Your mom is gonna blow your mind here.
I know. Well, and but there's value to that too. I actually have my mother's journals, and she passed away several years ago, and so I can go back and sort of visit her in that way. Yeah. And I kind of like that idea. I don't think that my journal will be that interesting to anybody ever, but it has been very useful to me. And the online format allows me to use keyword tags, and so I can tag my entries, and then that way I can easily search back and sort of index, various topics or feelings and whatnot. And that's been useful to me too. It's really been helpful when I'm identifying my own negative patterns. But what I would like to know is, how about all of you? Do you think there's value in spending some time introspecting, whether you're writing it down or if you're doing something more like what Eck does, and just reviewing your day? I like the fact that you review your day intentionally in that manner. In fact, I think that it might be a great idea to include those key topics that you mentioned in the notes. Yeah. Because I know for myself, I wouldn't mind exploring that format a little bit. And so maybe some of our viewers would like to do that too. So we would love to know what you do. If you journal, if you use an app, do you meditate? Do you have long talks with family and friends? I mean, really, this is about processing the experience of our lives, and we would love to know how you do that.
Let us know in the comments below, because we're encouraging ourselves to kind of get off the duff and live life and experience life. We'd like to know how you process your experiences. How do you process the time you spend being off the duff?
Being off the duff.
That's our new theme song.